Race with Senator Mazie Hirono right now. Good morning to
Good morning.
you, and congratulations first of all.
Thank you.
I, though, feel and have gathered from your comments last night, maybe you're not in the mood for celebrating, given the results of the general election overall.
Well, I'm grateful that the people of Hawaii have given me a chance to continue to work for them and fight for them, and so I'm grateful. I've been doing that for a number of years
yes.
now. At the national level, we will take stock of what we need to be doing because, as I said last night, my values remain strong, and those are the values of Hawaii: decency, honesty, fighting for our people.
But just taking into account the presidential election, the Senate shifting now red, how are you feeling? As I welcomed you in here, I'm sure you're coming from interview to interview. You said you're plugging along, and that's really all we can do. How are you feeling?
Well, I just keep plugging away because the alternative is to give up, and that is not in my DNA or nor that of the people of Hawaii. So we will take stock of what we need to be doing because at the same time as we now have somebody who's going to talk about terminating the Constitution and implementing some provisions from Project 2025 that includes eliminating the Department of Education, very important to the people of Hawaii. All of those things that we will be looking at, we meaning the Democratic caucus. So I know that we will take stock and we will continue to fight for our values.
Yeah, I want to talk about Project 2025. Aside from education, of course, that's the Heritage Foundation's presidential transition project. With the Trump camp has, officially denied that is their transition plan. Do you believe that? Of course, I assume not. What are some of the other parts of that plan that really concern you?
The president-elect has been talking about mass deportations. So he's been talking about it. Immigration, he put front and center. So I would anticipate that he's going to do something with regard to immigration that is probably going to stretch the limits of the Constitution. For example, he's also said that he's going to terminate the Constitution. He's going to be dictator on day one. He will misuse his power, abuse his power, and he will be protected by the Supreme Court's decision on immunity. So it is going to be up to the courts and the rest of us and the institutions that we have to protect our country and our Constitution and the rule of law.
I want to ask you about a couple of local issues, and specifically voting in person. I'm sure as you were looking at the coverage last night, we saw a lot of Hawaii voters that were stuck in line, especially here on Oahu at both of our polling places. And I know that in the last two election cycles, there has been a big push to encourage people to use the mail-in system.
Yes.
But it does seem like there's a lot of frustration, a lot of people that want to still vote in person. Do you think we need to relook at that mail-in voting system and offer more resources, more polling places on Election Day?
Well, we had a high turnout kind of election all across the country. And depending on who actually stood in line, because we make voting as easy as possible in our state. And so for a lot of people, for the majority of people, they vote by mail. And I have not heard any particular concerns about voting by mail, but I would like to know what happened where so many people decided to vote on the very last day. And of course, if you decide to do that, you can expect lines, and that's what happened.
I want to ask you for, especially women that, I've interacted with online today, just in person too, even early this morning, that were so very much looking forward to our country electing the first female president, and then also conversely feel very let down by male voters, by their neighbors, by their family members. They feel defeated because of the issues that are at stake, which you've been fighting for, access to affordable and safe women's health care. What would you say to women that are waking up feeling defeated, feeling let down this morning? Don't
give up. This is no time to be giving up, and that we are going to take stock. We're going to look at what happened. And I think that gender and race had an impact on this race. And so I would be really interested to know, what the men in our country, how they're thinking about this election and all. But at the same time, though, there are issues that confront us, the cost of living. And by the way, one of the issues that people care about is the cost of medication, prescription drugs. And we Democrats fought hard to enable us to negotiate prices for Medicare, and we finally have lowered the prices, and this is one of the things that Project 2025 wants to do. They want to eliminate our ability to negotiate Medicare prices. So that is going to impact our kupuna tremendously. So those are the kinds of issues that the people care about, and we can talk about some of the other aspects of this election and what we're going to do about it to address it. But you have the bread and butter issues, you have the cost of living, you have education issues, you have all of that that I'm going to continue to fight for.
And lastly, because my producer said I could ask one more question, I know that you've been concerned about a nationwide abortion ban. Now with the ease of appointing Supreme Court justices, or judges in other levels of the judiciary, and the Senate now being read with Donald Trump in office, is that a real, more certain threat now?
I think that it's always been there because the Republicans have been talking about a nationwide abortion ban. I think the way they're going to do it is probably to eliminate our access to contraception, including mifepristone. And so there are different ways to go about it, and I think they will use those kinds of options to make reproductive care that much more difficult to access.
Very good. Senator Mazie Hirono, again, congratulations on your win, and thank you for being with us this morning.
You know what? The main thing is that we just need to keep using our voices to protect our Constitution and the rule of law.
Very good.
That's what I'm going to do.
Well said, Senator. Thank you for being with us again this morning. We'll send things back over to Steve and Grace.
All right. Thanks.